Hey guys, Ashley here, also known as the HOA fan. I'm back today with another video, and today I'm going to talk about One Tree Hill. As I said, I still have One Tree Hill rants that I just realized that I still didn't talk about. So look for why I think Lucas and Peyton are overrated, and the double standards within the fandom, and why I feel like the other seasons were just really bad. Like, what the hell happened to One Tree Hill in later seasons? But today's video, I'm going to talk about. I really wanted to blend. I wanted to talk about the love triangle between Lucas, Peyton, and Lindsay, and talk about the differences between the fandom. But I don't want the video to be too long because I still have other things I need to do. The time is 6:05 in the morning. I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, so I just thought, why not get this video done out here. So today's rant is going to be on the Lucas, Peyton, and Lindsay love triangle. Ciao. Now, I want to say this. I have always been a Lathan shipper, and I completely understand some of the frustrations the fandom has when it comes to relationship. I get it. I didn't realize it when I was younger, but I feel like now that I am a little bit older, I don't like the idea of Lucas having to cheat on women to realize that Peyton is the one for him. But I understand. I was just talking to this. Me and my mom were just talking about One Tree and a Fungo, and she says people who say that don't understand that things like that happen in real life. And I completely agree. Things like that happen in real life all the time. We're not saying because it happens that it makes the cheating okay. We're not saying that at all. We're not saying that. I don't believe in cheating. I don't condone it. I really get it. I understand that sometimes cheating happens. It's not planned. It happens, but it doesn't make it okay. So I understand what they were doing with Lucas, but I feel like it made the fandom hate him more than understand his indecisiveness, because to them they're thinking like there were better ways for him to handle his indecisiveness besides cheating all the time. And I completely agree. He did not have to cheat to know that he was being indecisive about who he loves. It's completely unnecessary. So when people say that Lucas cheated women poorly, it's like, what do you mean by poorly? He didn't put his hands on anybody. He didn't verbally or mentally abuse them. He might have had been misleading. I will say that. He probably was a little bit misleading when it came to Brooke, when it came to Lindsay. And it was all about that indecisiveness. It just really made people frustrated, and I totally get it. But to me, I could just never find a bone in my body to ever hate Lucas. But I completely get it. And I think what originally brought me here to talk about this love triangle is that I was on TikTok, and the guy, he said he felt like by season 5 he was just kind of looking at the relationship very different, and he just said that he just couldn't believe that Lindsay was put in the middle of their situation. And I don't like the idea of people being like, oh, they hurt somebody purposely. And it's like, Lindsay would have never got hurt if Lindsay would have read the room. Like, let's be real here. Let's be real. You know what? Now don't talk about it. We'll start there. We're gonna talk. I want to talk about it's so hard to talk about this love triangle because, first of all, it doesn't feel like one. I feel like for it to feel like a love triangle, we need to develop all 3 characters. Lucas and Peyton are already developed, and Lindsay is just the rebound. I literally did not know anything about Lindsay. She really had the personality of cardboard paper. I don't know what to say about Lindsay. I don't really have an opinion on her. I thought she was annoying. I thought she was really annoying and stupid through the whole season. If you want my honest opinion, yeah, I'm going to say stupid. And some people might take offense to that because it's like, well, what else would you call her? I would say stupid. She didn't read the room. Haley was supposed to be her friend, and Haley didn't have her back, and Haley did not tell her the real truth about what the fuck was going on. If Lucas wasn't gonna say something about where his heart really was, I feel like that's where Haley should have came in and should have been like, "Hey, Linz, You're wasting your time. Peyton is back. Him and Peyton have a very undissolving love for each other. It's clearly not over, and I'm just telling you right now, just in case something, because something is with a situation like Lucas and Peyton. How do you expect something to not happen? I'm just saying, just saying. If you were in a long relationship with somebody and say that you never really gotten over it, it's obvious that Lucas never really gotten over it. He just dated Lindsay to deal with it. She was obviously a rebound. Say that you had a relationship with somebody and y'all just feel like it was just time to just take time apart from each other and date other people. But now he's back into your life. He, she, he and he, or she and she. I don't discriminate. They come back into your life. And you're telling yourself that your heart is done with them, but a part of you and some part of your heart is still beating for that person. Is it really over? Is it really done? I just feel like, and like even Lindsay, she said it that she's realized a different change with him ever since Peyton came back. He seems more distant. Well, not distant, but confused. And his heart seems to be in a different place. And I feel like Lindsay, that should have been her first indication on she needed to leave him. I feel like she should have just told Lucas, like, I don't think it's going to work between us if your ex is here. And she should have just read the room. Like, I just feel like Lindsay should have read the room. I feel like them dragging that whole Lucas and Lindsay relationship out in season 5 was so redundant. It was so ridiculous. And, like, Lucas, like, pouting over her the whole season was just so ridiculous. Like, it got really, like, irritating to me. Like, I never agree with the girl on, I think she went on Peyton about this. Why was Lucas so upset about losing Lindsay when they should have been focusing back on him and Peyton? Like, that's what I would have done. Like, I feel like once Lindsay left the picture, I understand why he was sad, because she left so abruptly, and like she kept telling him, it's like she knew why she left, but she wouldn't tell him. Like on the bed when she said that it's a great love story, but it's not our love story, and he kept telling her that it's just a book about a comet about science. We all know that it ain't about science. It's about his love for Peyton, metaphorically. He's describing Peyton as a comet. I feel like if she would have just told Lucas that the reason we can't be together is because you have unresolved feelings in your heart for her, I feel like maybe that would have she could have had just easily told him to go figure out what it is for Peyton, and they could have had done that instead of season 5. Instead of him, every episode he is moping over this one-dimensional bland bitch. Like, I mean, call her a bitch, but like Lindsay was so bland. She had like no personality at all, and just kind of makes you wonder, like, why is Lucas so whipped over her? Water break. So, those are little side rants, but I really want to start talking about. I'm trying to understand, because I did not think about this when I yeah. I want to talk about. I'm trying to think about how I can vertically get the rant down straight in the middle and talk about this. So I think I really need to start with Lindsay as her character and what I did see in season 5. So I want to start with Lindsay. So Lucas started dating Lindsay after the whole situation with him and Peyton went down 4 years ago in California and Los Angeles, when she turned on his proposal. He met Lindsay. They got together. I feel like Lindsay, I could understand. Well, actually, no, I don't understand. Nobody told Lindsay to be Peyton's friend. I'm going to say it. Nobody told her to welcome Peyton in with open arms. And a lot of people would say, well, she didn't welcome Peyton in. It would seem like she's a jealous girlfriend. And it's like, I don't have to do anything. I'm grown. I don't have to do anything. And Lucas never told her to be friends with Peyton. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I am wrong, put down in the comments. But I think I remember from my regulation that he never once told her, hey, you can be friends with Lindsay. I mean, friends with Peyton. So I can't help but agree with Peyton when she says she's marking her territory and she's trying to make sure that I don't come after Lucas. I definitely think that's what she was doing, but she was just being very nice about it. Why are you telling somebody that you don't know that you'll be there for them? Me personally, I wouldn't say it to nobody. If I'm not close with you, yes, I'm a very compassionate person. If like someone who I don't know comes in with their problems, I'll talk to them. But to be like, hey man, I'm here for you every day when you need me. It's like I don't really know you and your situations, but I have no problem hearing them. I feel like for Lindsay, she definitely was being like territorial. And I think people who don't see that are just trying to not see that she really was being insecure from the beginning, asking Lucas, should I be worried about us? I feel like you need to ask him those type of questions, then you need to leave. You need to leave him. And everybody just, I remember everyone just being like, Peyton was so mean to her. Like, the library fight, I don't really remember the episode because to me, it is personally one of the most, like, disconnected episodes from season 5 of One Tree Hill. Like, I feel like that episode doesn't really have much going on. No, I think it's episode 9, not 10. I think it's episode 9. It's one of those episodes in the whole library. She was Lisa told her, "Oh, I heard that you stole Lucas from Brooke one time. I guess it's in your resume." And it's like, first of all, you don't know the situation between her and Brooke. You're going off of what Brooke told you. That whole situation with Lucas, Brooke, and Peyton, it's a whole back and forth thing, and y'all already know how I feel. Brooke is not innocent in any of that, but this ain't about that. I've already made a video about the love triangle between the three of them. If you want to listen to it, go on ahead. So I feel like for Lindsay to just try to judge her, it's like, it's obvious that she don't like Peyton. And, you know, Peyton don't like her. She don't like her, like she said. Maybe it's just because I don't like her. And it's because Lindsay is dating the love of her life. What do her and Peyton have in common outside of Lucas? They don't like the same music. They don't like the same movies. They don't have the same taste in fashion. They don't share. Lindsay thinks that Brooke and Haley are her friends. They're not her friends. They're just soaking her in because they're Lucas friends and they want to soak in his girlfriend, which is very much respectful. I don't care about that. Peyton never once said they didn't have to be her friend. I think it is ridiculous that they would encourage her being with Lucas knowing that him and Peyton are still in love with each other. I think Brooke and Haley were really dumb for encouraging Lindsay to have a relationship with Lucas, in my opinion. Especially Haley. Like, if Haley's supposed to have Lindsay's back and I guess was like her new friend, and like, why is Haley encouraging her relationship? Why is she, when Lisa came in there and said that she's going to be the new Mrs. Scott, why? And like, I could understand why the girl on previously Teen Drama said that this whole storyline they dragged it out so long. They did. Like, when Lucas proposed to her, I was just like, yo, what are the writers doing? Like, even though I thought it was a beautiful speech that he gave Lindsay about his insecurities and everything like that, I understood why he did it, because he didn't want to lose. I feel like if he knew that if he lost Lindsay, he would have to deal with the fact that him and Peyton do have unresolved feelings. And this is when the frustration comes in about Lucas being so indecisive, is that when him and Peyton have dealt with this before, I feel like in season 1, he was like the least indecisive when it came to how he feels about who he wants to be with. But I feel like ongoing, he was just so indecisive. Like, in season 1, he knew it was Peyton. In season 2, him and Peyton barely had any interactions. Like, that in season 2, I was kind of thinking that they were done with Lathan, but in season Renee, at the end of season 2, when they reconnected as friends, I'm thinking like, okay, so we're getting back to the Layton love story. It's obvious in season 3 that him and Peyton are in love with each other, but neither one of them will admit it. And I feel like in the library scene, that just clarified it all. The library scene in the play just clarified it all. Those scenes were just way too real for anyone to not see the love that they have for each other. I just don't understand why Lindsay should have never accepted Lucas' proposal, but she was just such a pick-me, that too. She was just such a pick-me. Pick me over Peyton. Love me. See me. Accept me. It's like, when are you going to accept reality? And that is, he's telling you he loves you and that he wants to be with you, but Lucas, I don't think he meant that. I feel like it was just an scapegoat with Lindsay. Like I just said, he knew if Lindsay didn't accept the proposal, he would have to live with the fact that he still has feelings for Peyton, even though Peyton hurt him. And Lucas don't really deal well when it comes to hurt. We already seen this when it came to the Keith stuff and the stuff with Dan. He don't really deal well when, I feel like with him, it's a lot of abandonment issues with him. I feel like I think with him, he feels like if he gives his all to somebody, he's not perfect, but if he gives his all to someone and someone just lets you down and they just leave without an explanation, I think for him, it's kind of hard to win him back in. Like with Dan, it was very hard to win him. It was really hard for Dan to will Lucas into accepting him and being there for him as a father, because Lucas was kind of already over it. He accepted it. He tried to give Dan a chance. It didn't work. And he just realized that Keith is just a father figure that he truly had and that he only wants. And I think the situation with Peyton is that they were always in love with each other. They finally get together. They spent all that time together over the summer, and they're still together through those 4 years. But I think with him, it was just coming from a place that, okay, we are 19, but I know that you're the love of my life, and I don't want to be with anyone else. I think for Lucas, it was just him trying to find some, what they call it? I forgot what they call it in a relationship. Constant reassurance. I think he needed some reassurance on where the hell him and Peyton are at, because like you said, they go on months, weeks without talking, and that's not a good relationship. If you're not building on communication and not knowing where your partner is at, whether they're happy, sad, or down, I think that's when a relationship starts to crumble, when you're not keeping the communication alive. And for Peyton to assume, I'm put up for a different topic. But basically what I'm trying to get here is that when Peyton told him no, it kind of just drew his line of sand on where they were, and it seems like maybe she's not feeling it as much as he thought she was, so he left. My sister said she thought it was cowardly that he left, but to me, I feel like, me personally, I can understand what she said was cowardly, because maybe Peyton felt like it was so much more to discuss. But to me, I definitely understand why Lucas left. We already talked about it. We talked all night. You said no twice. You love me, but you're not ready. And I respect that. He respected it enough to not keep pressuring her. He left to savor himself from more heartbreak. Because if this relationship was going to continue with us less seeing each other and us less talking, what is the point of being in a relationship? It's just time to move on. And I don't blame him for leaving, because we talked and there's nothing else to really talk about. We said our piece, and the best thing is to move on before anyone else gets hurt deeply and emotionally, that is. And I think he already was hurting a little bit emotionally because he wasn't seeing her every day. They weren't talking every day. So maybe he just felt kind of alone. And to me, I just feel like Lindsay should have never accepted his wedding proposal. And like I just said, the fact that everyone is like encouraging them to get married and all this other crap, I just thought it was ridiculous that nobody, all of his friends, that nobody was going to tell him or Lindsay not to do this, to not go with this decision. I just thought it was really absurd, really absurd. So Lindsay, as a character, I thought she was tremendously foolish. And her and Lucas' relationship, I can give not a rat's ass about. I thought her and Lucas had no chemistry. So for Hillary to say that they had a lot of chemistry, I'm thinking like, I don't see it. I didn't see it at all with her, and I didn't see it. They had like zero. I didn't feel anything. I thought that relationship was forced and it was really unneeded for what they were going for in season 5. Really just unneeded. So I kind of already talked about Lucas and Peyton. Really, like I said, I kind of go off varying rants, but I kind of already talked about them really in their characters in this season. I really love that Peyton decided to come back and not only focus on where she wants to be, but really she wants Lucas back. She know who she know, like she said, 4 years ago, I should have said yes. Like she said, I didn't realize that not saying yes would have meant that I would have lost you. And I'm not saying she needed to say yes to keep him, but I feel like it would have saying yes have hurt Peyton. If she knows Lucas is the one for her, I don't understand why she wouldn't say yes. Yes, they're 19, but people who are younger than them get married every day. Every day, people younger than them get married. I could understand why she was fearful of it because, you know, she's dealt with a lot of traumas too. But I felt like she didn't have to worry about Lucas ever disrespecting her at all. And I just love the fact that she came back to fight for him, and even if it didn't work, that's why their scenes were just so good in season 5. Chad and Hillary did not play. Now that's chemistry. Him and Lindsay, they don't have any. But Chad and Hillary, you already know how I feel about them. They have amazing, electrifying, gravitational, magnetic chemistry. That is chemistry that you cannot teach. That is chemistry that you can't teach it. You have to have chemistry on screen, period, point blank. And they had it every time they were in a scene together. Every single time. And that's why the scene in the gym was just so heartbreaking, because to see Peyton finally, not finally, I don't want to say like finally, but having Peyton like she did the first time when he was with Brooke, she put her feelings to the side to let him go. And that's what I feel like always bothers me within the fandom, is that nobody ever considers how much pain Peyton is in when she sees Lucas being with other women that he knows he shouldn't be with, like Brooke. She sat on the sidelines and watched Brooke mess up over and over and over and over again. Her and Lucas having their ups and downs all the time. And Brooke never once considered how much that hurt her, knowing that you are dating a guy that I'm in love with. And no one ever considered her feelings. Just like in season 5, no one really considered her feelings. I mean, they asked her if she was alright, but like, no one really asked her, like, how are you okay with him marrying another girl? And like, I feel like she wasn't okay with it, but she knew she had to let him go and not hang on to what they had if this is what he really wants. And like she said, and if what you want is for me to let go, then I'll do it. Be happy, Luke. I want that with all my heart, is what she said. And it's obvious that she meant it. If it's not with me, I want you to be happy with whoever the hell you're going to be happy with, or happy in general. I would never be selfish to the point where I say, "What if I can have you, then no one can." It was never to that extent. I just feel like this love triangle was really absurd to me because it was ridiculous. I know, like, we told Lindsay was hurt. Lindsay was hurt. Lindsay was stupid. Lindsay was dumb. The scene in the bar with her and Lucas when she told him that she followed him and him and Peyton had to talk. Yeah, he should have told her that he went to go see Peyton. But the thing is with Lindsay is that if you're telling him that everybody here is friends, what you following him for? I know why you're following him, because you know that him and Peyton are still in love with each other. Bing, ding, ding, ding. And this is why I'm talking about, like, this is why I have a hard time understanding why people always want to picture Lucas as, like, the villain all the time. Is because, no, if you're trying to convince me that everybody here is friends, don't get mad when I am trying to be he, she, their friend. If you got a problem with that, voice your boundaries. How hard is that for people? Voice them. Make sure that they're heard. She made him believe that everybody here was friends, and he's like, okay, me and Peyton were friends before. It can be they were romantic in season 1, and they became friends. They can do it now. Why not? You want everybody here to be friends, right? So let's all be friends. But the moment that you feel like that, well, that you know, just like Brooke, you know this whole time you're for somebody else, and yet you're entertaining that everybody here be friends. And then once he's there for somebody as a friend, you get mad. Explain that to me. Until someone can explain it to me, I will shut the fuck up. I will not complain no more until someone can explain to me that thinking. I just need someone to explain it to me. Would he need to tell her that he went to go see Peyton for if she's telling him that they're friends? I mean, I'm just thinking like, hey, if she felt like something fishy was going on, she wouldn't have followed him. But she had a feeling that there was something going on because she knew that he was still in love with Peyton, so she followed him. And like, yeah, should he have told her? Me personally, I don't think he needed to tell her that he went to Trick to go see Peyton. Why? All they did was talk. It was just a talk, and I feel like it's a talk that don't really concern her. It's really none of her business. It's really none of her business the talk that him and Peyton had. Even though it was a very good. I love that scene. I love that scene between Peyton. I feel like those emotions needed to come out between them. I want to get to them in a minute. I want to get to them as like their relationship in season 5. I want to talk about them individually. So I just like with Lindsay when her and Lucas talked at the bar when she said, "No, you should have told me. No, why didn't you tell me that you were following me? Like that's why you acting weird and all distant because you following me around." She talked about her being back here has made me jealous and insecure and indecisive, and that is not who I am. And she said that, and he said, "I know that, but that's what I've become." Basically, try to blame him for why she feel those things. Stop it! Stop it! That's another thing too. People try to say that he made Brooke and Lindsay feel insecure. Brooke was already insecure before she got with Lucas. Period. Her being cheated on intensified it. I'm not gonna say it didn't intensify it, but you feeling that way, you're making yourself feel that way. I don't like the idea of someone putting the blame on someone else when it comes to relationship. I can understand that if your relationship it intensified the feelings, like, okay, maybe I'm not good enough anymore. I don't feel like I'm worthy enough because I have been cheated on. I can definitely understand Brooke in that season 4 when she said she felt like she's just not enough. She's not enough for her parents. She's not enough for Lucas. She wasn't enough for Peyton. She wasn't enough for nobody. I could totally get that, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like you made yourself feel that way. And on some extent, you have to realize that. You have to acknowledge that. You made yourself feel that way on some extent. No one told you to compete with Peyton. Nobody told you to feel threatened by her. You chose to feel threatened by her after you said everybody here was friends. Which is even the crazier thing with Brooke and Lindsay is that they make sure that everybody here is a tight friend group, and then the moment Lucas is there for somebody, they hate it because they feel like he's not there for them. He is there for you. He was there for Brooke a lot of times. Just because he's there for Peyton once in a blue moon, he's a bad boyfriend now. And him and Lindsay, they were together all the time in season 5. So, what's up? I feel like after the bar scene, Lindsay didn't leave fast enough. She should have left faster. Because Lucas running back to the house and proposing to her after kissing Peyton was really stupid. That was dumb. That was really dumb. And like Lindsay accepting the ring just proved to me how much of a pick-me she is, because she did all that being dramatic because she really wanted to be married by him. It's like, girl, didn't you just tell him that you know he loved with somebody else and you're accepting his marriage proposal? What a pick-me. Like, that's such a pick-me. I'm sorry. Lindsay was just not my cup of tea. Like, I like people feel sorry for her. To me, I just thought that she was stupid. And I thought she was a pick-me, stupid, and really desperate. And I thought she was kind of annoying. I feel like whenever she started talking, it just felt like she was crying. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't agree with a lot of the things that Lucas did in season 5. Like him proposing to Lindsay, I thought was ridiculous. I feel like him going along with this whole wedding charade was dumb. I feel like him moping over Lindsay was just such a waste of time. And that too, why were they trying to, this is a side rant, why were they trying to hint at Lucas getting back together in season 5? That was completely unnecessary. I did not like it. To me, I thought it was nothing more than a friendship. I thought it was a friendship, but a lot of other people felt like they were trying to hint them getting back together. And like, even on the podcast when they were watching it, even Hillary asked Sophie, like, were they trying to get you and Lucas back together? Because Chad and Sophie never had bad chemistry. I just want to say that. They never had bad chemistry. Even when they weren't together anymore in real life, they never had bad chemistry. I loved how they can, I don't know if they act professional on set after not being married anymore, but the fact that they could still go into scenes and still have that type of chemistry is very astonishing to me, because I've never seen anything like that before. To me, I saw nothing more than a friendship, but a part of me still feels like they were trying to ship that. I don't even understand why they were doing that. Why did Lucas need to be indecisive about Lindsay, Peyton, or Brooke? Brooke has nothing to do with this. He should feel indecisive about Lindsay and Peyton, but to me, Lindsay is just a non-factor. It's really just Peyton, really. And in my mind, it's really just about Peyton. So I don't even understand why they were even using Lindsay as like a factor, because it wasn't given that, and it never did. I agree with some of his decisions. That was just a side rant. I don't know why they wanted to do something with Brookus. I thought that was stupid. So the last thing, I love Peyton's character in season 5. A lot of people say she was mean to Lindsay. Me, yeah. Why would she need to be nice to a girl who was the love of her life? If someone could come in here and explain that to me, I'll shut up for the rest of the time. Until you come here and explain to me why she needs to be nice to a bitch who was with the love of her life, they have nothing in common. Then maybe you can, if you can explain to me why they need to be friends or why she needs to be nice to her, then I'll shut up. But until then, no. No one told Lindsay to be friends with Peyton. No one told Lindsay to be friend Peyton. And Peyton is a grown-ass woman. She'll gotta be friend. Nobody she doesn't want to be friend. Especially if it's with a woman who's with the love of her life. That's just stupid. I'm not doing that. So I want to talk about the Lucas and Peyton relationship in season 5. I absolutely love the writing for the relationship in season 5, from the flashbacks to all of it. I want to talk about the scene at Trick. I want to take a drink of water first. I feel like that scene in Trick needed to happen. I think they both were feeling a lot of things about 4 years ago that they wanted to get off their chests, and I think it was time to come out. Sometimes when you get things off your chest, it comes out you scream and you yell. It's not in a way that's toxic, but if you're someone and you just have this heavy burden on your chest, sometimes you just need to, scream and let it out. So I really love the argument that they had in that scene so much. It is such a great acting scene. Chad and Hillary did their thing. They both have their points, about me personally. It was just really hard for me I feel like Peyton saying that he gave up on them for not waiting to propose. It's like, when is the right time when you're in love? I feel like her saying that is just so absurd. Even though I love Peyton, she's my favorite female character on the show. I know everybody's Team Brooke. I'm Team Peyton. I love Brooke too, but I was just always more drawn to Peyton as a character. I feel like for Peyton to say he gave up because he proposed too soon, it's like, so then when is the right time when you're in love? When is the right time? I can understand you want to be successful on your own. He never said once y'all get married that you have to stop doing what you want to do. He said he'll move down here and you can still accomplish your dream. I just want to be where you are. And I feel like for her to say he gave up too soon, it's like, really? I gave up on us because I proposed? And like you said, when a man asks you to marry him and you're quote unquote in love with him, you don't say no. You say yes, and you say he proposed out of insecurity. I feel like for her to say he did it out of insecurity is just so not. I think to me it's not true. I feel like the reason why people think he might have done it, it might have been out of insecurity because he saw what Nathan and Haley had. Is it wrong? I mean, how's that insecurity? He saw what Nathan and Haley had and realized that if him and Peyton want to have a family and be married, they need to be consistent in a relationship, and they weren't being consistent in a relationship. Like I said, I feel like Lucas did want to marry her, but I feel like on some extent he also wanted to know where they stood in the relationship in a reassurance way. And I think Peyton saying no and saying that she would never come back down to Tree Hill to basically visit, like, it's kind of like what she was saying, like, Tree Hill to her is a very traumatic place, and she don't know if she can go back down there and visit. So it's like, what's the point of the relationship? We don't talk, we barely talk every day, we barely see each other. I could come up here once in a while to come visit you. You don't want to come back to Tree Hill because it's very traumatic. So it's just like, what's the point of being together at this point? So I definitely agree with Lucas a little bit when he said that she gave up on him, because I could understand why he felt that way. You gave up so quick in a relationship with so many excuses, and you didn't have a lot of reasons. To me, I feel like a lot of the things Peyton was saying in the hotel scene to me was just a lot of excuses. This is supposed to be I'm going to keep saying it. This is supposed to be the quote unquote the love of your life. You loved him for so long, and you're saying no to the marriage proposal? That doesn't make sense. People who've been together for so long like that, you think they would usually say yes. I'm not saying you're not entitled to say no. I know a lot of people are saying, like, is she not entitled to say no? But to me, I feel like, and like I said, I'm just going to keep saying it, if you're in love with this person, and you've been in love with them for so long, why would you say no? Unless you aren't feeling secure in the relationship. So, I can definitely understand why Lucas was like, you gave up on a relationship. You are the one who gave up on a relationship. And everything about that scene was just so intense, and it was just so good. I just like it just needed to happen. It really did. And like the scene when she talked to him in the office and she said that, look at me in the eyes and tell me that kiss didn't feel like how it felt 3 years ago. I mean 4 years ago. I think she said 3 or 4 years. And he said he's in love with her. I just felt like, Lucas, you're not in love with Lindsay. You're not. I feel like him being quiet the whole time while she was talking, him basically not denying anything that she said. It's like his heart is still there. And it's just so frustrating that he is willing to choose Lindsay over Peyton because Lindsay hasn't hurt him. And it's just like, oh my God. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The scene in the gym when she told him that she's gonna let him go. Me personally, I feel like it is, oof, that's hard because I was going to say the scene that triggers the best scene, but I feel like this scene in season 5 really touches me in the gym. It makes me cry every single time because to me, I honestly thought that was the end of Lathan. Like, when I watched it for the first time, I honestly thought, wow, so looks like him and his Lindsay bitch are gonna be in game and not him and Peyton. And my heart couldn't fathom it. It really couldn't. And like, oh my God, they had a lot of good scenes in season 5 when she had this fantasy about her stopping a wedding when she said that she loved him and that when he fixed the car, he fixed her heart, and she didn't know it then, but she knows it now, and she is ready, and she loves him, and she wants to marry him. And that don't leave me because people always leave. That touches me. Still to this day, that touches me. Like the thing when she stood up and said that, she is right. Those are the things that she should have told him the night of the marriage proposal. That's what she should have said instead of him walking out. Instead of saying no and coming up with excuses, she should have just told him that. And just been like straight up honest about how she really was feeling and that she don't want to lose him. She don't want him to leave because she's always been left. She clings on to people so heavily because she loves deeply. And when they leave her, a part of that love kind of goes with them. And it's very sad with Peyton. It's very sad. But I just feel like that's what she should have said. I wish they would have put that in the editing, but I'm not mad about Lindsay stopping the wedding over the comment about talking about the comment because I'm thinking like, are they really going to go through with this wedding? I'm thinking like, we need somebody to interrupt this wedding, please. If it ain't gonna be Peyton's speech, then it gotta be something. And Lindsay bringing up the book, I thought was just such a great icing on top, which that also is a good scene too. The fact that everybody in this room know that the book is about Peyton, but Lindsay is the only stupid bitch in the room who didn't know it was about Peyton. Like, she looks so stupid. I'm sorry, Lucas. I can't marry you. It's like, really, Lindsay? It took you 12 damn episodes to figure that out, huh? Wow. Wow. After the wedding, they really have a lot of scenes together. I would say the scene to me that I did like the most is probably the scene when she said she had that dream every single night, then back in the hotel room, and every time she's in a dream, she says yes, and he says it's just a dream, right? And she said it's my dream. I mean, they did have this thing when they talked, they had that walk, and he was telling her that he wants Lindsay back, and like basically her like supporting it. And they had the scene where he said he hated her, which I feel like a lot of people give him way too much shit for that. I mean, he was drunk, and I don't think he really meant it. I'm not using drunk as a way to excuse it, but it's like, really, Lucas hates Peyton? Y'all really believe that? No, but like he told her when he sobered up, he don't hate her. But he cannot admit that her coming back here so abruptly didn't make things confusing, because it did. It did. And I don't think Peyton ever thought about that either, if I'm going to be real. Like, I don't think she thought about how confusing it was going to be for him when she showed up and he already got Lindsay, knowing that she did want him back. But I'm really happy that at the end of this season that him and Peyton did get together. That I think everybody and Mama knew that the person on the other end of the call was Peyton that he called. I don't know, like I just said, I don't know why Brooke was considered at the end of that in that scene about who he calling. I thought that was really ridiculous. Like, I don't know if I should make a rant about that, because I really want to get started on my Got to Go rant before it's too late. I don't know why they were shipping him and Brooke again. Like, I'm sitting here, and so to say, I try to understand that every single time in season 5. Like, yeah, they have chemistry, but I just feel like y'all really overdoing it with they might be a thing again, and it's like, no, I'm so over that. I was over him and Brooke in season 3, child. No more Brookes. I'm done with him. If that's one person, I'd rather Lucas go back to Lindsay to go back to Brooke. And I put that on my mama. I'd rather him go back to Anna to go back to Brooke. Him and Brooke, they frustrate me. They do. If you guys want a video on my thoughts with the relationship, I would do that for y'all, because I made one before, and it's a very old video on why I said they were never meant to be. And I did make a video about them on couples I can't stand. So if you guys want a in-depth video about how I feel about the relationship, I would gladly do that for you guys. And I think in that video I'll talk about why I didn't like the hinting in season 5. But to me, that has been my thoughts on the Love Triangle. To me, it didn't really feel like a Love Triangle. I really went in depth really about Lindsay's character in this season, or her lack of a character, Lucas's character, and Peyton's character in this season. Me personally, it was more of a Peyton and Lucas story, and Lindsay happened to be in it. It was really their love story of them getting back together, fighting the odds, and trying to find their way back, and Lindsay happened to be in the middle of it. Me personally, I did love the drama. I lived for it. I did love it, but I feel like the writers dragging out Lindsay and Lucas was absurd. So that's where I'm going to leave it, and like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for supporting me, and the next rant will be coming.